I remember when Mike first came into my shop and he wanted to build a 440, and what he wanted was a torque monster.
It's hot at Nick's garage today, but there's plenty of cool stuff around here too.
Good morning, everyone. Here we are Monday morning, just opened up the shop. I've got a couple of jobs right now to do. A 61 Corvette came in. It's a client, he's a new client, first time here. And I want to replace the water pump on this vehicle. It's a beautiful car. Here, I just want to give you some little details on it. As you can see, the bearing is gone on the water pump. When it moves like that, you know the bearing's finished, right? And what surprised me most is that in the 61, the engine is held on the supports from the water pump, which is through the housing, and then on the subframe. Look at that. First time I see this. And there it is. It's a small block shave. I believe it's a 283. Not much of a job, pretty simple. So it's here just for antifreeze leaking, or should I say coolant leaking from the water pump. And we're gonna have one, we have one on order, so we're gonna have it replaced very soon. And there you have it, a 61 Corvette with a red interior. Beautiful car. Silver and red, I've always loved this combo. It's a beautiful color combination. This is the way it came from the factory. Silver, red panels, red interior, beautiful car. Well, and that's it, just a water pump. And you know, there's a few of them come in my shop. Every week I have a vet coming in here, all the time. There's always somebody's vet. And this one here, first time, 61, beautiful car. There you have it. Silver with a red interior. Yeah, and you know, I've always said this before, you know, these years, in the 60s, it's a human design. Somebody personally designed this, not a computer. And this is what they came out with in 61. Beautiful car, beautiful design, very, very nicely put together. I hope to see it some more in the shop. This is very nice. You know, people are gonna come in here and there, they're gonna say, wow, what do you got here, Nick? A 61 Vette. There it is. Not only do we have MOPARs, we have some Chevys also. I do my services for all kinds of muscle cars. Here's one, a beautiful 61 Corvette. And we also received a steering box for the 70 Duster. We got it in this morning, so Vasily is installing it. He's put it back up a few minutes ago, and now he's putting up the exhaust. So we want to get it done, so we're gonna have it delivered for this week. We had to replace the steering box because the car would wobble left and right on the road, so we ended up getting another gearbox. So Bill had located one, had one rebuilt, brought it to us this morning. Vasily started to install it, and very soon we're gonna send it out for alignment. So that's another job for the day. And let's go check out that 69 Charger 500, see what we've done over the weekend.
Nick has love for all the old cars and trucks that he works on. But there's something special about Gene's Charger 500.
This car came from the other side of the country on the west coast from California. I just wanted to put you guys up to date that we're gonna rebuild this engine and transmission, and we wanna do sort of like a Kowalski build-up, so a little bit more horsepower than it came from the factory. That's what Eugene wants. That's exactly what we're gonna do. It was parked since 1975, so our job is to take it out, rebuild it, and also bring the car back to its original yellow color. I had a friend of mine, his name is Robert. He came in on the weekend, and he was here to remove the complete dash cluster assembly, so we're gonna have it restored because everything was dried and very dull and very dirty. So he came by on the weekend and we took out the 2 front seats, give us more space so we can remove the complete cluster assembly so that we can get it done. You got to start right now removing pieces, getting them restored, getting them clean, looking for what you need, start ordering parts, because we're trying to get this car done within a year. So we're gonna have to remove all the molding, suspension, interior, put the car, or should I say the body in a rotisserie, and get it cleaned out inside out so we're gonna have it ready for painting. So right now we gotta start making plans to source out parts to get done, look for pieces, and get a spot in the body shop to get this going. We had to remove the windshield to get the instrument panel, which is screwed in here on the inner panel. So we had to remove the windshield to get to the screws and remove them. So we had the windshield removed, and of course after that we got into the dash and we took it out. So in other words, if you wanted to remove the dash to do a complete restoration, you have to remove the windshield and get to the screws that are underneath to get it off. And we went through that, took off the windshield, and we did not break it for any reason. It's kind of, it's an old windshield, it's the original glass we took out. We have it on the side. We're bound to get it cleaned later on, but the most important thing was to get that cluster out and the steering column, have it sent out and get it under restoration. And Eugene did a great job because he put the car away for such a long time, and he had it in a dry storage facility, which a lot of the rubbers and the plastics have dried up, but no rust occurred to the car. There's some rust on it, but nothing much really. We're gonna work with the same sheet metal that we have with the car. Everything looks pretty solid. Like I said, it's not a car that's been driven in the winter. It's all in a dry climate. And it's gonna be one big job to do this in 1 year and make it look as good as this one. Okay, Eugene, we're trying to make it like my car right here. That's what you wanted. We're gonna take this car and make it look exactly like mine. And hopefully we'll do it in 1 year. If you guys wanna see all this action, subscribe to my channel and keep up to date and watch our videos and you see what's going on with the car. And then we have another car in my shop, which belongs to Mike from New York. It's been sitting here for a while. It's not here for any restoration or anything. He just came here because he wanted to build a 440 torque monster.
Nick's regular viewers will remember an earlier episode when Mike brought his 1966 Belvedere all the way from New York City to Nick's and asked him to build a beast for it.
Well, you know what it is? I wanted to build basically a torque monster.
Torque monster?
Yeah.
Maybe we should stroke it out.
Maybe
we should stroke it out.
That was one of the things I wanted to ask you. You're the guy who knows.
Oh yeah, we've got a lot of updates to do over here, man. To me, I'll be honest with you, it looks like a mess.
It's you don't need my glasses to figure that one out. Yeah, this is basically, yeah.
Nick rebuilt the tired old 440 for Mike, and since then it's been waiting for testing on the dyno to see if it's become the torque monster that Mike always wanted for his car.
So as of right now, we have the engine on the dynamometer because Mike cannot come from New York because the border's closed. So Mike gave me the okay, the green light, to put the engine on the dynamometer, and here it is. So we're just about to get it started up to see what kind of torque and what kind of horsepower we're gonna get. Now this is a 440 that's been stroked out to a 493 cubic inch. He's got trick flow heads 240, roller rockers at 1.5 ratio. He's got the roller hydraulic camshaft, which we bought out from Trick Flow. We've got an MSD ready to run distributor with the Performer RPM intake manifold, with an 830 CFM Holley carb, with the 1/7/8 headers. I don't want to go bigger than that because, you know, the bigger the headers they are, I'm sure it might make a little bit more power with the 2-inch headers. But if we've got 1/7/8, I think they're going to do the job. Plus, it's also much easier to install it in the car when it comes for installation. We did some air-fuel ratio tests, but I did not do the timing yet. We have the timing in some place, 30, 32 degrees, but it doesn't matter. I want to do some further testing, just plain timing today. So we're going to get it started very soon, and we'll take it from there. Anyways, we're using the 830 CFM Holly from the dyno room. We're just going to determine what kind of a carburetor he's going to need from what I see. So we have the turbine here. It's going to measure how much air this engine takes. This is the purpose for this thing. It measures how efficient the engine is, and also it measures how much air it takes in, cubic feet per minute, and also air-fuel ratio. So I want to get it running to show you viewers live here in the dyno room to see the results of this motor. Okay, here we go. So we're going to start this engine. As we can see, it's a 4350 bore, which is 30 oversized. It's a crankshaft of a 4150 stroker. It's got a total of 493.4 cubic inches. We're going to start the engine at 3,000 RPMs and finish up at 6,000 RPMs. Our barometer is 29.56, 57. And look at the humidity level for today, 74.6. So we're going to run it and see how it goes. But I just want to say a very special thank you to our Patreon supporters. With the funds, I ended up buying a new pair of boots for my shop. So now with the old boots gone, let's start with the new boots and let's start with this new engine. Let's get going. Put on the fan. O2 sensors.
Nick leaves the earplugs off at first so he can hear the engine. He's listening as the lifters fill up and quiet down, and he's looking for vibrations and leaks.
You know, this engine doesn't have enough vacuum. You can see at almost 1,000 RPM, we only got 11, 12 inches of vacuum. But in this case, this car does not have power brakes, so we don't care about vacuum. We put a bigger cam in it with more duration. We don't care about the vacuum for the power brakes because this car is not equipped with power brakes. So in that case, I could put any cam I wish. And we're running on pump fuel. Here it is. It's almost 1,000 RPM. 10, 11 inches of vacuum, not enough for power brakes. He's going to have to know how to drive the car very, he's going to be a very experienced driver to drive a car, a 66 car with this kind of power. So you got to drive with safety. Anyways, I'm sure Mike will know what to do with then. We're going to get it to about 155, 160 degrees Fahrenheit, and then we're going to get it ready to go. You know what? Let's warm it up. I'm gonna make a test right away. Let me just add the water on the rear valve, and here we go. Let's go. So let's see what we've got on our first test. We have the timing around 32 degrees. We've got way over 600 torque, that's for sure. Looks like we pulled out 650 torque at 4,000 RPMs and came out at 604 HP. That's pretty good. So now we're just gonna do further testing by playing with the timing, but for now, this is what we have, and let me just show you on the graph. So there you guys have it. Is it a torque monster? I believe it is. 650 pounds of torque for a street car. It's a cruiser. That's more than enough, let me tell you. But we're not done yet. I'm just gonna play around with the timing a bit. I know I have it at 32 degrees. I'm just gonna advance it 2 degrees, go to 34. We'll make another test, back to back. And then again, I'm gonna bring it to 30 degrees and see where we go with that. And you know what, according to the humidity we have today, it's doing pretty well. I wanna make another test back to back. I've changed nothing. I just wanna heat sink the block. In other words, heat it up good and get it going. There we go. We're not changing anything. Let's go back to back. Oil pressure is good. We're still good. Here's your oil pressure. Here's our water temperature. Air fuel pressure looks good. And let me see what we've got here. There we go. We just did a little improvement. Now we're up to 655 torque at 3,900 RPM, 4,000 RPM. We're still there. At 5,700 RPM, we're at 608 HP, and we're still climbing. So now we're going to do some testing with changing the timing, advancing it, retarding it, see how it goes. And there you have it for now. Test number 2. All right, we're just going to advance the timing by a couple of degrees. I don't need to use the timer light. I've done this many times, so I'm just going to get a very good ballpark figure. I'm just going to go advance at a couple of degrees so we can see if we increase or lose horsepower. So let's see. Okay, there we go. Advance at a couple degrees. Let's make a test where it goes. If it increases, we're good. If it doesn't, we're gonna go retard the timing. Go to 30 degrees instead of 32 where we started with. 650 at least. Start going in the right direction. You know, I just want to say these old 440 blocks were not designed to make 600 horsepower from the factory. Anyways, we're using them. I've done it many times before. They seem to be holding up, and it's pretty good. So here we are. Let's see what we got at this here. Now we're at 34 degrees advanced, and let's check what. Okay, the torque numbers are at 4,000 RPM. We're at 650 torque. And horsepower went from what we had before, where we're now at 613.3 at 5,700 RPM. There you have it. I played with this engine much earlier, and I know that the best timing on this engine was at 32 to 34 degrees. So I'm gonna leave it at that. And now we're gonna make a test without the turbine, just to see, I wanna make a video of the fuel going through this carburetor. But before we go there, I gotta look at something. I believe the carburetor is way too small with a 830 CFM. This is the amount of air this thing has taken. Now that we're measuring air-fuel ratio and cubic feet per minute, see what kind of air this engine gobbles. Here it is. At 5,900 RPM, it gobbles almost 800 CFMs, which is right here. It looks like, from what I see, I might need a 950 CFM carburetor, but I don't have one at the moment. But I can see that it might be a very tight situation. It's going to make a good street engine. I'm sure it will. 650 torque, that's the average. 650, 650, 652 at 39, 4,000 RPM, which is great for a street car, let me tell you. And it's got like 613 horsepower at 5,700 RPM. What more can you ask for? Pump gas right from the gas station. Mike, what do you think of that, Mike? Anyways, I'm going to put the timing back where it was. We're going to make a test without the turbine, so you folks can see the fuel going down the carburetor. And look at that, no oil leak whatsoever. So far, so good. What I don't like is when I see oil leaks. Look at this one. Smooth, no water leaks, no oil leaks, no vibration whatsoever, and take a look. Super clean. We're stuck at 650 and at 612 horsepower. 650 torque at 4,000 or 3,900 RPM. And it was doing pretty good. It is a real good torque monster for a street car. And let's see what we do now without the turbine. Okay, let's see what we've got. We're still up there. There we go. 649.36. There we go. 4,100 RPM. Torque is there, and the horsepower is at 611 at 5,700 RPM. So there you go. It's an average at 611, 612 horsepower at 5,700 RPM. The torque is within 650, 652, between 39 and 4,000 RPM. I remember when Mike first came into my shop and he wanted to build a 440, and what he wanted was a torque monster. Mike, there you have it. Torque monster. And you guys, if you look down below the video, we have a whole bunch of merchandise that you guys can buy. So whatever you like, buy it, love it, wear it, and enjoy it. And help spread the word of Nick's Garage. And if you have some time, check out our Patreon page. We have extra content and you guys can watch it and take it from there. And we'll see you next time.